Hello, my name is Frank Sindermann. I'm AFM number 74. I'm from Germany, Nuremberg, Germany, small town in Bavaria. I started racing in 2018 for AFM, did my NRS school at Pacific Track Time, and then for my birthday I found myself at Buttonwillow on the starting grid, which I didn't really want to do, but we did it anyways, and then I got kind of hooked to it. I've been riding the street since I was 16 on an RD80 MC1. It's a little two-stroke Yamaha street bike, and then I raced motocross since when I was 16 also. That was in Germany, and was a CR125 1982 dirt bike, which didn't fly very well.
Again, please. So, what made you try road racing after all these years of riding the dirt bikes and all this stuff?
I had a friend and a customer of mine come to my shop and asked me how to obtain a race license, and I told him it's like come back in 2 weeks, then I know, and then did the NRS, and then could tell him 2 weeks later, and then we did it together actually, and then I got the license, and then we started racing in 18.
So he kind of planted the seed.
But yeah, basically, it's like I'm always busy, so I never could really enjoy what I do. What do I like to do, because I always work. So, and then with that being said, so then before it was track days, and then now it's this. So
what do you do? What is your job?
I had a motorcycle shop for 20 years, Extreme Cycles, and then I started a trucking company, XC1 Transport, for empty wine bottles throughout Northern California and SoCal once in a while. And now I started working for Pirelli also as a race tire service for AFM and some track days. Fun Track Days is my main provider. That's my own company I'm gonna care for next year. So, and then I help out Pirelli on the weekends whenever I can and if they need me. So
tell me about your bike. That's a beautiful bike.
the bike, I got super lucky. Was a salesman named Rick Hens out of Miami in Hilia. By Miami, it's Palmetto Motorsports. And he called me at 5 a.m. one day and asked me if I was still interested in the RC8C. And if I wanted to buy it, then I would be able to get it from him. So I was wide awake at 5 a.m. and told him, I said, what do I have to do? And he's like, make a down payment on this thing and then should be here in December. So I drove to Miami, hung out at the beach for 2 weeks to wait for the bike to come. Then we finally got it. Then loaded it up, went straight to Daytona. I raced it the first time in ARMA. There's another race organization for historic motorcycles. I also raced there. And then from there went home and then started racing AFM with it also. So
you started racing with it. What is it about it that's cool?
It's a very limited bike. It's also one of my dream bikes. I had a Kramer 690 on order, and without COVID it never showed up. So it took 2 years, and then this thing came along. So I canceled the order with the 690 because I wanted a little bit more power anyways. And then so I got this one. It's still a Kramer also. It's an amazing bike, super light, somewhat powerful. Got 128 horsepower and has it's 308 pounds of weight. Got WP suspension front and rear. It's super light. The fuel cell is the subframe. Has Dimag wheels. Has a AIM race studio. Way too advanced for what I know about electronics and computers. So, but it's really fun. I like it.
What does that bike feel like to ride? Because I mean, that's an exotic bike. You don't see things like that.
Feels like a straight race bike, like something I never ridden before in my life. It's like I always had street bikes and converted them into track bikes, or I had an older RC8, but that thing rode more me around the track than I did, because I also had a Super Duke, so that thing was super fast, but sometimes too overwhelming for my skill level. So then I had RC390s were underpowered, but they handle very well. So, and then now about this. So
what's the difference if you say you ride a standard bike and you jump off it and you get on that? What would be like the biggest differences that you feel right away?
Braking definitely, and the light weight of the rear end, it comes up very easily. So whenever the very first time when I rode it and hit the front brakes, I almost launched myself over the handlebars because I was used to a heavy rear end. This thing is super light, so it stood up quickly. So I had to get used to that a little bit and start a different riding style than I'm used to. So I'm trying to learn this bike. It's sometimes difficult, but then I do it for fun, so I know who I am. My goals are mainly to ride and enjoy this whole thing, and it's a great community in the motorcycle, and AFM and Arma. I met a lot of cool people actually I like hanging out with. It's like the goal is for me to enjoy this ride and come home in one piece. I gotta go to work early in the morning every Monday, and it's like that's just enjoyment. Little adrenaline rush at starts, sometimes very overwhelming. Last 2 weeks ago at Arma, we were 48 people in our race, which was crazy. In turn 2 at Laguna Seca, all of us were in there at the same time, and your heart is pumping definitely right out of your head. So, and you just pray that nobody crashes into you and nobody falls off. So that's always the main thing. I think it's for every person who races a bike, going into that first turn and clearing the first lap on the bike. And then after that, you're more relaxed. It's like once you find your rhythm, then it's easier to ride and enjoy it actually more.
So your experience right now, you're an experienced racer. You made the jump from street to racing. What would you say to a street rider?
My driving record was completely shot. I had 4 tickets, and I got a letter from the DMV that said that I'm most responsible for most death in California. And then we started out running the cops around the lake and up in Ukiah and wherever. We got banned from Alice's, and we got banned from, what was the other one? I forgot. Healdsburg, Dry Creek Road in Healdsburg. So. And then we were like, oh, it's wiser to go to the racetrack before we kill ourselves on the street, So that's what we did.
It's working out.
So far, so good. I got a clean record again.